Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Yes, we can hear you. Thank you. So we'll be starting in next 2 minutes. Hello, good afternoon. I am Sophia Yobami and Head of Communications of Jiipcc, and I welcome you all to our onboarding session for the third and fourth quarter. So hope I can be heard.
Yes, ma'am. Good afternoon.
Okay, that's fine. Thank you. So I'll be telling you guys about Jiipcc. Please, the next slide, Dennis. Okay. So about the program Jiipcc Mentorship and Internship Program is a quarterly mentorship program for students and young professionals across Africa like yourself. And mentees are afforded the opportunity to access valuable advice, training, network, mentorship, internship discussion forums, industry updates, and resource materials from experienced mentors. This program seeks to encourage continuous training, development, and evaluation in Nigeria, Africa, and around the world. So you can also check out our YouTube channels and you'll find out things we've done in the past. So the objective of this program is to provide easy access, guidance, training, and resource materials for students and young professionals in Africa, and to facilitate dialogue and network among experienced and less experienced practitioners and stakeholders, and to transform mentees into mentors and leaders for the next generation, and to also facilitate further mentorship, internship, and scholarships and job placements for the mentees. So I hope you all understand what the program is about. So I'll be passing the mic to Dennis to take over.
All right, can you all hear me?
Yes, we can.
Yes, we can.
Yes, we can. All right. Good afternoon, everyone, or good evening, wherever you are in and around Africa. Welcome. I want to officially welcome everyone to the Jiipcc Mentorship and Internship Program. I am delighted to have all of you here on board. I think we have over 100 people on this call. Please, you can also kindly reach out to your co-mentees that you know are supposed to be here, but are not here. What we'll be basically doing in this onboarding session is to just give you a breakdown of the Jiipcc Mentorship and Internship Program, and also give you the opportunity to ask as much questions as you would want to, because we know that obviously there are still some people who may still have some confusion about the program, and they may not necessarily have all the answers yet. So we give this platform or give this opportunity during our onboarding session so that we can have a proper dialogue and interaction before the classes start proper. So I will just run you through a breakdown of the Jiipcc Mentorship and Internship Program, what is expected of our mentees, how we are going to be carrying on for the next 7 weeks, and how how we are going to be carrying on for the next 7 weeks and things you generally need to know. All right, starting, I would like to say that the Jiipcc Mentorship and Internship Program is an educational internship, right? It's going to take the shape of an educational internship. You will be demanded, or you'll be required to make researches, to do presentations. We send you messages ahead, and even on the offer letter we sent to you, we clearly stated that there will be those things going on. We will need you to carry out research. We will need you to carry out presentation in your different groups, and you will need to work together with your co-mentees. We don't want this program to just be one where you come, you attend classes, and that's all, right? One of our core goals is to build networking amongst our mentees. So that's the reason why we have set up this structure to carry out our mentorship program. We want it to be interactive. We want all our mentees to have a good time and enjoy themselves, right? So as much as they will be learning, right? Like I said, as much as they will be learning, we also want them to have a good time, right? So basically, like I said, we'll be having research and presentation weekly for the next 7 weeks. For the next 7 weeks, you will be grouped and regrouped into different groups, right? You'll be grouped and regrouped, right, for your presentation. Kindly pay attention to the grouping. Anytime an assignment or the task for the week is dropped, please pay attention to it and make sure that you follow through with the instruction. If there's any confusion, please, you can kindly reach out to me and then to your group leaders. I am hoping that so far that all the groups that we have, all the first tasks for the week, and the group leaders have created their individual groups. I am hopeful that that has been done already, because we expect that the first tasks for the week should be submitted on the days that we have allotted for them to be submitted. We normally used to have the issues where mentees start their presentation late, and because they start it very late, it is hard to keep up and then hard to meet the submission dates. But I would like to let you know that it is very important that you submit your presentation when it is due, because your presentations, we send your presentations to the mentors that will be taking in your classes ahead of the session. We send it a day before the session so that they can go through it. And then with what you have done with your research and with the knowledge of your research at the back of their mind, they can address the class to see and to give input to your knowledge gap, and then you can ask questions on that grounds. I would like to point out that during your research, right, for each week, it is compulsory for every group to send in questions, right? When you are submitting your presentation, we give the opportunities for you to send questions, and it is mandatory, it is compulsory for you to send in questions, at least 3 questions per week, per group, right? So every group is supposed to send in 3 questions alongside their presentation when it is time for submission. Question during part of our structure, part of the laid out structure that we have set is the question and answer sessions that you'll be having during each class. And during those question and answer, right, it is not just for you to, it's not just for us to fill up time. We don't do that with the mindsets that we are trying to fill up time. We are doing that with the mindsets that we want to get as much as we can from our mentors, right? So every opportunity that we would have, because 2 hours may not necessarily be enough to cover the whole scope of the topics that we have sent to you and the topics that you have researched on. 2 hours may not be enough time to cover that body of knowledge. So we require that you send 3 questions, and we'll also give opportunities during those sessions for you to ask your personal question. If there are any knowledge gap, like I said, in maybe, or you did not totally understand maybe points that a mentor was making during the session, we expect that you send in questions or you ask your questions during the session. We expect that the sessions are going to be interactive. We expect that the sessions are going to be interactive. We expect that mentees will do well to pay attention, right, and not be distracted during sessions. All right, please, I noticed that quite a number of us don't have our videos turned on. right? So please, I would like to request that if you can, right, and it's a culture I would want us to really carry out during the session. If you can, please turn on your video so that we can just see ourselves, right? We know we're not talking to an empty room. All right, we know we're not talking to an empty platform. So please, if you can you kindly turn on your video? Hope you all can hear me.
Yes,
we can hear you.
Yes, all right. So
Yes,
please, if you can, please turn on your video, right? We would like to just have this kind of interaction where we are seeing each other, and then you can also see the faces of the mentees or your mentees or people who are a part of this great program. All right. I see some people are already complying. Thank you. Please, as much as you can, try and turn on your video so that we can see you. Thank you very much, Mr. Samuel. Thank you, Mr. Sampson. Can we have more people turn on their video if you can? Okay, Precious, thank you. All right. So like I was saying, we expect for you to comply with every task that we are giving, right? This is a virtual internship, and because it is a virtual internship, we may not be able to have as much physical interactions as possible, right? We cannot have physical interactions. So we just set up the structure to help us control the program. And because of some of the experiences we've had in the past with previous mentees who tend to be unwilling to participate in programs, in our activities, we have made it compulsory and we have set some disciplinary standards, right? And part of our disciplinary standards that we have set for this particular quarter is that if you are absent for two consecutive sessions, you'll be put on probation, right? If you do not participate, and on the third session of you being absent, you'll be removed from the group or you'll be removed from the program, right? And also, if you do not participate in your weekly tasks and you don't send in reasons why you will be unable to carry out your tasks, right? After 2 consecutive weeks, you'll also be put. Sorry. Can you hear me? Can you all hear me?
Yes.
Yes, we can.
All right.
Yes, I can hear you.
All right, thank you. So like I said, after 2 consecutive sections, or after 2 consecutive classes, if you are not able to participate in the presentations, if you are not writing your articles, right, then we will be automatically removed from the group. If there are complaints, Pelumi, thank you. I can see your hand up. All right, please, I'm just giving a brief. Once I'm done with it, I'll give you the opportunity to ask your questions. But thank you for raising your hand. I will address your question as soon as I can, as soon as I'm done with the brief I'm giving. So like I said, if you do not participate in the research, if you do not participate in the presentation for 2 consecutive weeks without any reason, then you will be removed from your group, right? Or you will be removed rather from the program. So please, I want to ask that we pay attention to our group, we communicate well with each other, right? One of our core values, again, is to build a strong network amongst our mentees, right? We want mentees to interact, we want mentees to collaborate with each other. So feel free to reach out to members of your group, feel free to ask them questions. If you research and maybe you are having issues with your articles or the presentation, you can reach out to any member of your group and ask them to help you proofread your articles, and I'm sure they will be kind enough to do so. So please, I want us to have that open-mindedness towards the program, to give it our all, right? I'm sure that there are going to be issues that are going to range from network issues to your own personal and individual timing, right? Some of you may be busy at some particular moments and may not necessarily be able to participate fully. But we want you to know that if you at all having those particular issues, then please kindly reach out to any of the team, right, me or Sophie, and then drop your complaints, and we'll do well to see how well we can work around it to give you a better experience during the program. So those are our disciplinary measures that we have set for the program, and I hope that you will give strict adherence to the rules that we have set for the smooth running of our programs. So thirdly, I would like to just talk about our sessions. During the sessions, right, the group presenters, right, those who have been tagged to make presentations are to stick within the time frame. We have had issues during previous mentorship sections where we are trying to either the group presenters are not available, and then we are trying to reach out to them and they are unavailable, and the backup presenters are also not willing to present and their videos are turned off. Just some of those issues. Please, I want to plead with all of us that during this session, if you were tagged or if you are tagged as a group presenter, right, kindly make sure to prepare ahead of time. Do well to make sure that your network is properly, your network is working very well. And if you are having any issues and you will be unavailable, it is for that reason we have assigned some people to take the role of backup presenters. Those backup presenters are to fill in, right, in the instance where the group presenter would be unable to carry on with the presentation or maybe having network issues. So group presenters and backup presenters, please take note, during the session, you are to stick within the time frame that you have been allotted for your presentation, and you are to turn on your videos. And if at all you are having network issues, please kindly communicate with the backup presenters so that we don't have the issues where we are calling out to presenters and nobody is on ground to present. We do not want that during this mentorship session. We want to have a hitch-free session. We want to have smooth and hitch-free sessions. So please pay attention to that. So because of the number of mentees that we're having in this particular quarter, some groups like the IP group and the ADR group, you have been divided into not 2 but 4 groups, right? You've been divided into 4 groups. And for those 4 groups, we have taken the initiative to make your presentation and your weekly tasks on a rotational basis. So for this week, group 1 and group 2 are the ones that are going to be attending to the presentation. So the tasks have already been sent to the group. I expect group 1 and group 2 for ADR and IP, for ADR and intellectual property, to have already start working on their presentation, right, including the other groups. But that is the initiative we have taken to help manage the number and to ensure that mentees are participating in the tasks and they are not leaving it for a select few to do the presentation. So group 1 and group 2, you'll be the one handling the presentation for this week. Group 3 and group 4 for both IP and ADR, right, you are to take up the article, you have to take up from the subtopics that were sent to group 1 and group 2, and then you are to write an article. We've paired you guys in teams in teams so that you can, together with your team member or with your partner rather, you guys can put your minds together and write an article. For the articles, we have a platform. On our LinkedIn platform, we get to post your article. On our LinkedIn and Medium platform, we get to post your articles. So your articles are not just you are not just submitting for submitting sake. Your works are going to be published on our social media platforms. So please kindly take notes to that. We have cases where mentees submit articles, but they do not reference their work. And because of that, we do not publish those articles that have been referenced. So kindly make sure to reference your work after you have done so. If you have been assigned to write an article, ensure that you reference your work. Do not submit without referencing. We get questions like, what format should we use? how should we go around the what format should we use for the articles, and I sent it in the welcome message that what is required for you for what is required for the article, right, is that it should be done in Word documents and then it should be referenced. Every other correction or arrangement will be done by us. We will do that before posting. We ensure that we put our insignia, in that sense, our watermark on those documents, so that it can be told that this work was done by a Jiipcc mentee, and we will do well to tag you while posting your articles. So another thing that we require from our mentee is that after every class, after every session, you are to post on your social media platform what you have learned. It is also a compulsory part of our program. It's us telling the world that, or it is you rather telling the world that you are part of this program and that you are not learning in isolation. Rather, you are not learning in isolation. You are getting something and then you are putting it out, right? We want to see our mentees after every session post what they've learned, right? And then send the link in the group so that we can now have access to those posts. You can tag your mentors, you can tag your mentors, you can tag Jiipcc as a whole, and we just encourage you all to do that. It is mandatory, it is compulsory that you post after every class. We will send a screenshot during each class. We normally take a screenshot of all our sessions, right? We take a screenshot. We have a few mentees here that have participated in previous quarters, and I'm sure that they are used to us doing that. So every class, or every session rather, you'll be required or you'll be asked to turn on your video for a quick screenshots. Please kindly comply as we require for you to do that, so that you can add it to your post that you will be making after the session, right? So basically that is that for that. So we have, for this quarter, set up we have tried to inculcate reward systems in that sense for this particular quarter. In the last quarter, we had exams. We had exams for the first time ever. We included exams to our program. We made it a part of our program where we evaluated mentees based off of their performance during the program, and then some mentees were awarded with certificates for the best performing mentee in their particular groups. So please, I want to ask that you give it your best. Also, with that also, right, for this particular quarter, we'll be also giving an award or an extra certificate to the most active mentee, right? So the mentee, any mentee that continuously participates in class, that we take note of, that you are consistent with class, that you are engaging in class, there will be a reward for that at the end of the quarter. We are doing well to make sure that we are engaging you as much as possible and that you are a part of this program wholeheartedly. It's not going to, we don't expect that you are just here, you come up and then you go out of class, you are in a noisy environment. No, we want you to actually put your mind. We understand the value that you'll be receiving from our platform and want you to give it your all, right? So those are our reward system that we have set for this particular program. We expect that you give it your best. You will be graded, or you'll be evaluated based off of your adherence to the articles, to you posting articles, to your posting on social media, to your attendance, and also the exam. The exam is just a part, right? We will still be grading you also on the basis of your articles, on the basis of your articles, your attendance, and your social media posting. So please pay attention to that. And I'm sure that, at the end, we would have maximum cooperation from you all. So basically, for now, right, that is all I would like to just share about the program based off of the brief that planned that I'll be discussing with the group. This is what our mentorship our Jiipcc mentorship program entails. It entails that you participate, that you are an active participant in the program. Now I want to give the floor to you guys, right, so that you can ask questions. I know I've been talking for like the last 15 to 20 minutes. So enough of me talking. I want to give the floor to you guys.
Okay.
So please, if you have a question, can you hear me?
Yeah, hello Dennis. So we'd love for them to first take a picture.
All right.
Yes. So please, everybody, put on their camera.
Okay. Thank you, Sophie, for reminding me. We'll also be taking a picture for this particular class. So please, before we go to the question and answer session, can you kindly turn on your video so that we can take a quick picture, a quick screenshot? Please turn on your videos. We want to take a quick screenshot. All right, can we have more people turn on their videos? Sorry, we're taking time. We have quite a number of us on this call, so we're taking it bit by bit, so that we can have everyone covered. All right, thank you very much. We're done with that. Thank you, Sophie, for reminding me. All right, so now to our question and answer session. If you have any question, I know there are quite a number of us that have questions, but we want to do that in an orderly fashion. So please, if you have any question, kindly indicate using an emoji or just indicate using an emoji, and then I'll do also call you out so that you can ask your question. All right, so Pelumi, thank you again. Please go ahead and ask your question.
Okay, good afternoon, Dennis. Thank you for this onboarding session. So I initially wanted to ask about, some people were not able to join the meeting. So I wanted to ask if there was anything to do about it. There are some of my group members that were not able to join. So is there anything that can be done about it? That's the first question. And then the second question is if there's a particular referencing style they are meant to use for the articles. Is it MLA or Scholar, or would there be a particular reference style that will be given to us? That was the question I wanted to ask.
All right. Thank you, Pelumi. In response to your question, firstly, this particular class is being live streamed, and after we are done, we'll be sending the link to your individual groups so that you can always, and we'll be doing that subsequently with each class, right? So you can always have access to the class. You can go back and rewatch this particular onboarding session when we are done, right? And then with your classes also, after every class, we'll post the link, the YouTube link to your groups so that you can refresh yourselves with if there's that need. For your second question about referencing style, so we do not, in quotes, have any particular referencing style that we ask our mentees to use. You can use whichever you are most comfortable with, and we'll just do well to, on our own end, any other arrangements that we need to do, we'll do well to add those arrangements and before posting your work. So I'm sure I was able to answer your question, or I hope rather that I was able to answer your question. Victor, I can see your hands up. Then we'll take Mr. Joseph Aruwojai's question. So Mr. Victor, over to you. Your question. Mr. Victor, you're muted. Please, can you unmute and ask your question?
Thanks so much. Good afternoon, everybody.
Yes, good afternoon.
Thank you for this opportunity to be part of this program. And thank you so much for the information that you've passed to us. It's really appreciated. Thank you so much. Now, my question is for the articles. Is there a word limit for the articles? That's one of my questions. Then the second thing I have to say is not a question, but an observation. I observed that we can't see the presenter. So I was thinking that maybe we will see the presenter. Why? Because I think it's also, for some of us, it helps in the learning process. The presenter that started, I could actually see the person. But at some point, I don't know if it's from my own end, I could no longer see the person. So I was thinking it would be good.
Sorry, please, your second question, I didn't really get it. You were talking about the presenter. Is it the presenter you were talking about, is it for this onboarding session, or which presenter are you talking about? Is it for the group presentation, or can you hear me?
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
I said the present session.
Okay.
See the person, but after some point I couldn't. So I don't know whether it's from my end or it's from the person, whether it was intentional.
All right. So okay, in regards to your first question, can you hear me? All right. In regards to your first question, there's no word count. We don't put restraints on you when it comes to you writing your article. We only ask that you do a thorough and a proper work when you are doing your work, right? So whether if it is 100 words, 1,000 words, right? We do not put restraints on you as regards the article. For the person who started this particular session, the onboarding session, she has to be in between two events currently, so she's not fully here. So that's the reason why I'm the one that you can completely see. So thank you. So I can see a few other people. Mr. Joseph, you were raising your hands before, so please can you ask your question? I can also see some people saying they have questions on the chat box. We'll do well to address that, but Mr. Joseph, are you with us? All right, so Mr. Joseph seems to not be with us. So I can see Ojo Deborah saying she has a question. So please, can you go ahead and ask your question?
Good afternoon, sir.
Yes, good afternoon.
So great to be in this group, and I want to appreciate the admin for that. So my question is, I messaged someone, I think one of the admin, that because one of my friend is on the group and she's already grouped, but I'm not grouped and I did not see any form of that. So I have to message the admin, which I've not got any response from him since. So right. I don't know.
All right, thank you, Deborah, for your question. So I want to sincerely apologize for that. That was a mistake from my end. I was the one who made the grouping, so probably maybe while doing that, I accidentally omitted your name, or your number rather. So about responding, I have been indisposed today. I've had to do a few running arounds, but as soon as this meeting is, or this call is over, I'll try to, before the end of today, address as many, because I have a few messages from mentees that have a question or have issues that we'll respond to. So please, with time, I'm sure I'll be able to respond to that and also add you to a group. So thank you, Deborah, for pointing that out. So Joseph, I can see you're back. Thank you. Please, you can go ahead and unmute yourself and ask your question.
Good afternoon, everyone. I really appreciate Jiipcc for this opportunity to be a mentee under this reputable organization. My question is the writing of articles. Is it like every mentee is meant to write an article, or an appointed mentee is meant to write an article?
All right. Thank you, Joseph, for your
That's
question.
my question.
So, yes, I heard you. So thank you so much for your question. If you see the grouping style that we did if you look at the grouping styles that we sent to each group on how they were to go about the articles and the presentation, you would notice that some particular people, we set them aside strictly to carry out particular roles as related to the presentation. So for instance, firstly, you have the group leader, right? The group leader who is supposed to create the group and eventually coordinates the activity of the group. He is not going to be writing an article, right? His responsibility is to ensure that he is coordinating the activity of his group. Secondly, you have the compiler or the compilers, as is the case in some groups. So the compilers are the ones who will eventually, after the group is done researching, the compiler is supposed to put what the group has researched on in a PPT format, right? Those two are not supposed to write articles. Their basically their basic assignments is to make sure that their work is put into PPT form, and so they are not going to be writing articles. So you have the presenter. Totally, you have the presenter. The presenter, like I earlier stated, is the person that is supposed to carry on the task of presenting during the session. He's supposed to prepare himself ahead of the class to make presentations. Then the backup presenters, lastly, right, are those that in the instance where the presenter is indisposed and is unable to make presentation, they can step in, right, for the presenters. Then you have the rest of the group, starting from number 5 downwards. Those that have been tagged are the ones that are required to write articles. We will be rotating the numbers weekly. So those who are working on the presentation for this week, directly on the presentation for this week, may not necessarily be doing the same for next week. So you may be working directly on the presentation for this week, and next week you may be needed to write an article. Whatever the case may be, we just ask that you comply with that. For those groups, like I was trying to explain with the unique cases we have with ADR and IP, right? For group 3 and group 4 for this week, all of them are supposed to write articles, right? All of them are supposed to write articles, except those in group 1 and group 2 that have been given a task, that have been given another task that doesn't require them writing articles. So those are the two peculiar cases, right? But you are supposed to treat the weekly tasks based off of the instructions that were set in the message that was sent. So please kindly follow through with that. I hope I was able to answer your question. I can see Faye, you were raising your hand. You are raising your hand on the chat box. So please go ahead and ask your question, Faye.
Yes. So basically, I have a question. When we make our articles, are we to post them? Can we post them ourselves aside sending them to you when we're done with it?
Yeah, yes, you can post your articles yourself, and you can also tag us, and we will do well to repost it. There's need for that.
Thank you.
All right, thank you. Bridget Ajibade, please go ahead and ask your question. Okay, is Bridget still with
Good
us?
afternoon.
Yes, good afternoon.
Yes, I am still here. Good afternoon. I had a question, however, I withdrew my hands, but since I've been given the floor, let me still ask it. What happens in a situation where the timing for the classes every week coincides with your job? For instance, every Friday by 12 p.m., I have a board meeting in my current office, and at the same time, lectures have to start.
Okay. Depending on the peculiarity of your case, and you can always message me if there's that need, and we'll figure out how to go around it so that you do not also get to miss out on the sessions, right? And like I said, except for peculiar cases, right, we'll be sending the links to the classes, to the links of the classes, the YouTube link of the classes to your group. So if by any chance, right, like I said, on the grounds of the peculiarity of your case, maybe for instance, you're having exams, or for the instance where maybe work, like you pointed out, then we will maybe giving permission on that basis to miss those classes. So okay, let me point this out. So we have in our attendance list, right? We have an attendance list or an attendance form that we send after each class. We have an attendance form and an absence form, right? So please, we'll be posting those two forms, right, every week. So if you are going to be unavailable, or if you are unavailable for your class, you can always fill the absentee form, and if you are present. And I want to just hammer on this: please fill the form if you were present for the class. Fill your form for attendance, your attendance form. We have issues where mentees they just disregard it. After the session, they turn off and they just switch off till tasks are signed, and then they carry on. But it doesn't necessarily help us when we are looking through at the end from our own end. I know you were in class, but I can't see your name on the attendance. I know you attended the class, but it's hard for me now trying to see or put together when I'm trying to compile your attendance. It's hard for me doing that because I know you were in class, but I can't see your name on the attendance form. So please, as much as it's within your power, try and make sure that you fill out the attendance form if you were able to attend a session. And if you were not able to attend a session, also fill the absentee form, right? In the documents that was sent to you about on the Jiipcc summary for your different classes, you will see that the links to that is already there, but then we'll still be reposting it. We try to ensure that before the start of the program, everything that you will need, all the links that you are supposed to be submitting to in the documents and in the welcome message, all those links are there, but we'll still be posting those links so that you don't get to miss out on them. So please, when any link is posted, do well to follow the instruction and fill those links. So thank you. Okay, moving on to the next question. I think I have Peter, and then Chioma. So Peter, please, the floor is yours. You can go ahead and ask your question.
Yes, good afternoon. Thank you very much. So as regards the articles, I don't know, maybe you've talked about the topics we have to write on. For example, in my week, we have film, business, and law. So I'm asking, are we just to pick a random topics in line with the film, business, and law, or we have about 4 topics in my group that we have to work on for that week? So are we to just pick out of the 4 topics and use it for our articles, or we just pick a random topic in line with that week topic? I don't know if you get my question.
Yes, I get your question. So you have to pick out of the 4. Well, out of the 4 subtopics that was sent, right? Out of the 4 subtopics that was sent, you have to pick from that and then write on it, right? You are not to formulate. You are not supposed to formulate a question. So please try as much as possible to just pay attention to the questions that were asked, and then any of your choice, then you can pick from those and write on it.
Thank you very much.
All right, thank you. So Chioma, please, you can go ahead and ask your question.
Okay, hi, good evening. So I wanted to ask, I'm in the data protection and privacy, and for the articles, I wanted to ask, are we focusing on local laws in Nigeria, or are we allowed to do a comparison or to bring in other laws?
Okay, so in regards to the data privacy and protection group, and thank you for bringing that up. I am supposed to address that. So for data privacy and protection, some of our mentors are particular about you referencing local works, right? There, some of them are. So for your presentations, right, please do well to cite local laws and local cases as regards to the topics that was sent to you. But you can also do well and expand, right? Because we don't just have mentees that are within Nigeria, we also have somebody's mic is unmuted. Okay, please give me a few minutes. Let me see. Okay. All right, thank you. So like I was saying, right, some of our mentors are particular about local laws, right? So, but we don't want you to just stick to those, so just what is happening locally in Nigeria, right? You can also write on different parts of the world. You can cite examples from different places in the world. We have mentees from other parts of Africa, and we want to also know what is going on in the region. So as much as you cite local laws, please, you can do well and cite international laws and examples and references as well. Thank you. So I think they were.
Thank you.
All right. So Sylvia, right? If I'm not mistaken, sorry if I'm not pronouncing your name very well. Is saying, are all courses are they being held together? So no, right? We sent the different schedules for your courses to your groups. So please, you are supposed to pay attention to them. All courses are not held together at the same time, right? Pay attention to the times or the time frame for your own particular course and attend. The only exception we have is for week 6, and week 6 we'll be having specialized courses that is supposed to be attended by all mentees, right? For week 6 we'll be having specialized courses during week 6. So pay attention to the way the scheduling is, right? If you're having issues with the scheduling, you can always reach out to me and I'll do well to clear up the air about it, because a mentee reached out to me saying that he was kind of confused about the time frame, because in week 6, on Saturday, that's 28 September, if I'm not mistaken, week 6, there are 3 classes, right? There are 3 classes, 1 by 2, but 1 by 11. The first class by 11 on AFCFTA, the second on fundraising, and then the third on is a human resource specialization course that we have drafted. Yes, I'm sure it's maybe a bit tight for some of us, but please, as much as you can, do well to be in attendance of those sessions. We've done it in such a way so that it can be beneficial to all our mentees. So thank you. I can see a few hands. Emanuela, please, you can go ahead and ask your question.
Good evening, thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
My question is, do we retain the copyright for our articles? I have 2 questions. So that's the first one. And then the second one is, would we be able to access like the articles when they are posted on whatever platform? Would we be able to access them after they're posted?
All right. So about the copyrights for your articles, so once you make your submission, the copyrights is shifted, right? So we own the copyrights for your articles under that particular instance. Why? Because we tend to watermark the articles that you right? The topics are being sent by us. You do those research, and then we also put disclaimers on the article saying that it is your work. Right? We state or we cite that it's your work, but that the individual should not take it as legal counsel, right? So the intellectual property rights of your articles is ours, but you can always have access to it, right? You can post on your own platform, right, and you can post on your own platform and, right, do that, like I earlier stated. And like you said, you asked about articles. Yes, when we post, we tag, right? We don't post without tagging the person who wrote it, except if the person we are trying to tag is not on the platform. For instance, if we are tagging you on LinkedIn, if you are not on LinkedIn and we don't have access to your profile, then you may not see the article that we posted. But as much as we can, we do post those articles, all the articles that you write and you cite, we post them and then we tag you. So you can always have access. You can go back and revisit the articles anytime that you like. So I hope I answered your question.
All right, thank you, sir.
All right, so okay, before I give the opportunity to Mr. Jean to ask his question, let me just take one of the questions on the chat box. It says you talked about 4 topics sent from which we can write the articles. We don't have such selected topics in the data privacy group. So in a group where you don't have any subtopic, then you are supposed to write on the general topic, right? In a group where you do not have subtopics, then you write on the general topic. For some groups, we have done that just to help with the numbers, but some other groups, they don't really have subtopics. So groups where you were not given subtopics, then please write on the general topic. Do your research on the general topic and then post. Thank you. So Mr. Jane, before I go to the next question on chat, but Mr. Jane, the floor is yours. Go ahead and ask your question. Mr. Murray, can you hear me? Mr. Murray, can you hear me? Sorry, you are not audible. We cannot hear you. You are unmuted, but we cannot hear you. I think you seem to have audio issues from your end. All right, please, while we are waiting for you to try and sort that out, let me attend to one of the questions here. The question is from Jadi Sola. It says, good evening, sir. Please, could we go through what you said about assessing our social, social media participation? All right, so like I was saying about the social media, your social media postings weekly after the classes, right? We expect that you post what you've learned from each class. You are supposed to post on your whatever social media platform of your choice, right? And then send the link to the group. We'll be going through your post, and then we'll be, for those who were able to post, right, we'll be awarding marks for that, right? We have a separate mark that we have assigned for those who post on social media. So please do well to pay attention to that, take notice of that, and always try as much as you can to post what you've learned from each week. So Mr. Murray, are you with us? Can you hear me? Is your audio
good? Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you clearly.
Oh, all right, thank you. I was about to ask about the articles. If you can just provide us like a structure that can we use to write our articles.
A structure. It seems we're having many questions on these articles. All right. So see what I will do. after this, after the onboarding session, I would find a previous article that has been written by one of our mentee, and then I'll post it on the group. And so you can just look at it. Sorry, you can look at it as an example of how your article is supposed to look like, right? Or how your article is going to be. So you can always go through that. So I'll be doing that after this onboarding session. There's a question here for the individual assignments that don't have anything to do with group work. Will they be given topics to write on, or is it any topic of your choice? The topics you ask for, Ifeoluwa, thank you for your question. You are supposed to write on the topic, your group's topic, right? You are not supposed to write a separate topic apart from what has been sent for your group, right? You are supposed to write an article on it. The group itself will work together to make a research, to make a presentation, or you are going to separately do a work of your own, right, on the topic that has been sent and submit it as your article. So that's from Ifeoluwa. Richard is saying, how long is the meeting? And okay, that's a personal question. So this meeting is supposed to last for 2 hours. We started by 3. Hopefully before 5 we should be ending the meeting. Okay, I'm still going through the questions. Okay, somebody is asking, can we join multiple tracks in the AI track, but can I join the IP track? So yes, addressing this, I see quite a number of people requesting that they should join some of the other groups. So because of our structure and the arrangements that we are trying to take, right? You are only limited to the particular course that you registered for or that you paid for, right? Except in the instance where you paid for multiple courses, right? That's the only grounds upon which you'll be given admittance into another group. So please, except for that instance, you are not necessarily allowed to join another group. So please pay attention to that. I think we have quite a number of people who are sending requests to join some other groups, but the reason why we've not added you is because you are supposed to stick to the particular course you registered for, right? And for those who joined using the free registration, right, we only give the opportunity for one course at a time. So please pay attention to that. Someone is saying here, concerning the submission of the assignments, are we to submit it on the general assignments link, or are we going to fill the PowerPoint and article space together, especially when we are not assigned to do the PowerPoint or write articles? So there are different links that we'll send for that. There are links that we'll send for the submission. There's a separate link for the submission of PowerPoints, and then there's a separate link for the submission of articles. They are not the same. So the only person that is entitled to submit PowerPoints is the group leader, right? The group leader, like we stated in the tasks for the week formats that we sent to your different groups. It is the group leader that is responsible for sending in or submitting the PPT presentation, except if probably he's having issues, then he can always just assign someone else from the group to make that submission. But please, it's the group leader that is responsible for submitting the PPT. And for your article, you are the one to submit your articles by yourself individually, right? And there's a separate link for that. Okay, there's a question here. Okay, someone is saying, regarding the submission of articles, could you provide more details on the specific deadlines or time frame? So on the message, like I said, we send in the deadline for submission. The deadline for submission is the time you are supposed to submit. For those who are going to be submitting presentations, your presentation should be submitted by 4 p.m., except ADR who have been given, who will be submitting their presentation on Monday, right? And they will be submitting by 7 p.m., right? For those who are submitting articles, your submission time is 7 p.m. WAT, right? West African time. That is GMT +1, right? Every morning on the day of your submission, we will send a reminder that you have to submit your work. We will not leave it to just you to submit of your own discretion, right? We'll send a reminder so that you can always remember to submit your work. Okay, I'll just take, like I said, this day, we just give this day for you to, for us to brief you about the program and then for you to ask questions. So we'll try as much as possible. I'll try as much as possible within my power to answer as many questions as I can answer, and then hopefully we'll call it a day. So here, a question here is upon registration. Okay, that's a personal, direct question from me. Okay, Odefa is Odefe Udo. Sorry if I'm murdering your name. Sorry, my kind apology. You're asking a question about the entertainment business and law group. So the subgroups, the topic for the week, like if you check the weekly schedule, the topic for the week is film, business, and law. That's the topic for the week, right? But under film, business, and law, we gave different subtopics for group 1 and group 2, right? So group 1, you are supposed to treat the subtopics that was sent to group 4 that was specified for group 1, and then group 2, you're supposed to treat the subtopics that was specified for group 2. But the general topic that you all will be working on is film, business, and law. That's for entertainment, business, and law course. Their first topic for the week, their first task of the week is to research on film, business, and law in respect to their peculiar subtopic. So more questions. You talked about tag the writers of articles on social media. My question is, how can the writer get his or her own social media handle to you so as to get tagged? On LinkedIn, we can always search your name, right? Once we use the arts icon, we can always search for you, and once we find you, we'll do well to tag you. That's the way we tag. You don't need to submit your social media handle, right? Just ensure that your name on social media or on your name on LinkedIn is the name that you are using. I'm sure, obviously, that you submit on your article. Obviously, we'll be able to see you if you tag yourself properly. Like if your name is arranged properly on social media, on LinkedIn rather. So, okay, someone here is saying, Esosa is saying, please, the articles written individually, I thought we were paired up with people to submit together. So, like I said, there are two groups with different exception, and that is IP, intellectual property, and alternative dispute resolution. So for the people who were paired, right, you have to work with the person you were paired with, right? You are not supposed to work individually. You have to work with the person you were paired with. That's for ADR and IP. Under the groups where I paired you with someone, right? You have to work with the person you were paired with. But if at all I did not pair you with anybody, right, then you have to work on your article individually, right? You have to work on your article yourself. Still more questions. Please, so that we don't get to keep reading, I just don't get to keep reading questions. Please ask your questions live here. You can always raise your hand, indicate, and I'll give you the opportunity to ask your question. Someone is saying, okay. All right, so please, you can still ask your questions directly to me, you can still ask questions. The floor is still open. Please, if you have any questions at all, right, please try and ask, right? Try and ask. Like I said, for every session, as much as is within your power, please ensure to turn on your videos, right? We have different mentors from different, okay. Ubo, I'll be coming over to you, but let me just finish what I'm saying. All right, let me just give the floor to Ubo first to ask your question. Then whatever is left, I'll say that. So Ubo, please go ahead and ask your question.
Yeah. Hello, good evening.
Yes, good evening.
Yeah, please, some of us are not so clarified in regards to the article. So my question is specific, and my question specifically is, we had some subtopics for Group B and Group A. So those tagged under Group B to write the article, are we writing as per the subtopic, or we are writing the main topic on the main topic for the week?
You have to write on the subtopic, right?
Okay.
You can use the heading of the main topic, right? But you are supposed to write in relation to the subtopic.
Okay, so is it all of the subtopics, so we get to pick any of our choice?
Any of your choice.
All right. Thank you very much.
Okay, so Sinu Ade is asking a question, a direct question to me. I wanted to respond to it privately, but no worries, I will just address it here. The question is, upon registration, I selected entertainment business and law, but upon payments for my certificate, I paid for data privacy and protection. Please, is it possible for me to change? Right. So there are people who have requested to change. Prior to now, there are people who have requested to change their course, right? To change from one course to another. We actually do give opportunities to those who had already paid for certificates to change their course. So please, you can kindly reach out to me privately, and then we can discuss on how to go about that furtherly. Thank you, Tinuade. Sorry I did not answer your question. I wanted to address it in your private DM, but it's fine. Thank you. So do we still have more questions? Or is there any question I'm yet to answer? All right, so like I was saying before, I tried to answer Ubo's question. Please, during every session, try as much as possible as is within your power to make sure you keep your video on. We want the sessions to be interactive, right? So try as much as possible to keep your videos on. Do not be afraid to ask the mentors questions if you need clarity. Like I said about the questions, right? The mentors may not necessarily be able to address the whole scope of that topic in 2 hours. They would most likely do that from their own professional standpoint of view. And I would like to point out that the mentors that you'll be meeting are not mentors who are in the academic field, right? To the academic side, to the courses into the related courses, right? They are professionals in their different field, people who have professional experience, and what they will be giving what they will be giving you is their professional opinions, right, about those courses, right? So please, as much as is within your power, you can always do well to ask questions, right? Do well to ask questions, right? Make sure you are asking questions in session. Make sure you are trying as much as you can to get out from the mentors, right? And if they treat your question, you will always have access to the classes after the session. We will do well to post the link so you can always go back to those classes and listen over and over and over and over again, right? So I can see this person, Song, right? Please, you can, before the start of class, you can always change the name so that we know that we know who is speaking. So Samson, please, can you go ahead and ask your question?
Good afternoon. My name is Mary. Actually, I'll change the name. Hello, can you still hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
I will change the name now. Thank you. I wanted to ask in regards to the article. Are we all supposed to participate in the group like article, like in the group research? Or we are supposed to just write our individual ones, then people that were tagged will be the one to like do the research. Or like the one who submit as a group. Thank you.
So yes, thank you for your question. So you are supposed to participate in the group work, irrespective of whether if you are writing a separate article or not, right? You are supposed to contribute, you are supposed to send inputs. If there is the need for that, you can always send inputs to help your group compile their compile their presentation. Those who were tagged with just specific rules as it relates with submission and which relates into submission and making the presentation itself. But the research is on the honors of the research is on the whole group to make, right? So the whole group is to make the research, and then those who are writing articles, we do their individual articles. You can always even send your individual articles to members of your group to help you proofread. If there are any mistakes, anything that you would want for them to see, maybe there are informations, maybe one or two informations that you found out while you were writing your own articles that you would like to share with your group, you can always do that, right? So the research in itself for the presentation is a group work. For the individual article, right? For the individual article, you who were tasked to write your individual article, you can just kindly write your article and make submission. So I hope I answered your question.
Yes, thank you very much.
Yeah, all right. So there's a question here. Someone said, please, I came a bit late. Can you give me an overview of this program? Like, what is the program all about and what do we stand to gain from the program, please? Thank you from Mabel. So Mabel, thank you for your question. Just another overview of the program. Like we said, like my colleague said while we were introducing the program, she said the Jiipcc Mentorship and Internship Program is a program set aside for young professionals and students across Africa, right? We are doing this we are doing this to educate. We are doing this to educate. We are doing this to educate. We are doing this to connect our mentees with a larger world audience to see perspective beyond just our own scope of knowledge, because we have mentors from different parts of the world who will be giving opinions. There are different opinions as to the sectors or to the courses that you have chosen, and they will do well to try as much as possible to share their body of knowledge and their insights about the experience they have gathered over the course of the years in practice. So what we are trying to do, or what we are trying to achieve, is to connect you and the mentors who have the professional experience and you who is either still learning or just you are out of the schooling system and you are trying to get hands-on experience or hands-on knowledge about the sectors you have chosen. So our mentors are set up in that line to give education, to help you as much as they can. So what you'll be gaining from the Jiipcc Mentorship and Internship Program, for those who paid for our certificate, you'll be getting, well, firstly, you'll be getting our certificate at the end of the program, and then you'll be connecting with mentors, you'll be connecting with mentees, right? You'll be making new connections. Thirdly, we also at the end of the program, right, you can always reach out to us if there's need for recommendation. There are quite a few mentees who have gotten work placements or further internship based off of our recommendation. So please, if you need recommendation, right, as to study outside, if you want to study outside the country, right, you can always reach out to us for recommendations, and we'll do well to write you a letter of recommendation. We can do that for you. Right? We've done that for a few mentees. A few of the mentors that you will be coming across, right, are mentors who also took part of the Jiipcc Mentorship and Internship Program, right? So also, we'll also have it in mind to convert you eventually to becoming a mentor, right? So that's some of our goals that we have set, and so far so good, right? Across Africa, we've mentored over 800 plus mentees, right? Some have gotten, like I said, further internship, right? We also give opportunities for volunteering with us. We also give opportunities for past mentees to volunteer with us. During the course of the session, you will not only be seeing my face or the face of Sophie, right? You'll be seeing some of the previous mentees who have mentored under our program, taking roles as moderators, right? So they will be also moderating during classes. They will be contributing their own parts to the program. So we give those avenues, right, for our mentees or people who partake in this program. The idea what we try to set is that you are not just a part of a mentorship program, right? You are not just coming to do 7 weeks and then get your certificate and go, right? We want you to be a part of us on a larger audience, right? And even after you are done with the program, you are still a part of our family. So this year we also carried out 2 separate programs, rewarding separate programs. We had we had a university. Sorry, the name is not coming to mind at the moment, but we had 2 programs celebrating some of our mentors. Or another was to celebrate mentees who had passed out and are contributing in their own space, in the IP space, right? Because that's for now, that is the sector we are concentrating on, right? But we will do well to expand to other areas where we currently hold mentorship sessions on, right? Including artificial intelligence. Those of our mentees that are contributing their own quota, they are putting out information and they are doing their due diligence to the body of knowledge in that and listen. We will always find occasion to reward your contributions in that sense. So being a part of this doesn't just make you a mentee who would leave after 7 weeks, but you are a part of our family. You can always reach out to us if there's any needs that you have. And please, I would like to just point that out, right? If you have any issues, anything that, any problem during the mentorship session, please reach out to me. If there's any confusion that you're having, reach out to me, right? If you are unable to attend class, reach out to me. Make sure you reach out to me and also reach out to your group leaders, right? Make sure to reach out to your group leaders and reach out to me. If I do not attend to your question, it may be because, there are so many of them. Please kindly send me another message, right? Kindly send me another message. It is not intentional that I will not ignore your message intentionally. So please make sure to reach out to me. I am here to help you enjoy your 7 weeks, right? I am here to help you enjoy your 7 weeks. So please try as much as possible to work with us, to work with your group, so that we can all together have a wonderful 7 weeks of the JIPCC mentorship program. So are there more questions or are there things we would like to say? All right. I cannot see anybody asking any questions. Okay. So I would just like to congratulate you, right? In closing, I would just like to congratulate everyone of you who is a part of this program, right? Who is currently on this call. I'm sure these 7 weeks are going to be very, very insightful, right? You'll be getting, we are trying to, or we have tried our possible best to put together the best minds in your different fields, right? So that you can learn from them. Please give this your utmost best, put in the efforts. Eventually, it will count for something, right? In the end, when you are able to finish with this program. Like I said, if you have any issues, reach out to me. Okay. Udochukwu, please go ahead and ask your question.
Hello, good afternoon, sir.
Yes, good afternoon.
Sorry, sir, I have been, keeping tabs with what you are saying from for some time now. But my question is this: possibly, maybe I wasn't aware when that issue was addressed. It's in respect because my particular position is on, health tech and law. So I wanted to know because I know they have other sections like ADR, IP, and what have you. Are we
Yes.
going to be having same class, or are we going to be having different classes? So I think that was the area I want clarification so that I can be able to be on the know. Thank you.
All right. So for the first 5 weeks of the program, right? For the first 5 weeks of the program, you'll be having classes that are specific to you, right? Like it is stated in your schedule. Your group or people in your group are the only ones that will be attending those classes, right? They'll be, except if we state otherwise, but we'll be having those classes peculiar to, you'll be having health tech and law classes peculiar to you. I think for health tech and law, that is 4 p.m. Sundays, WAT, right? 4 p.m. on Sunday, you'll be having health tech and law classes, right? We have our mentors who will be taking you on health tech and law for the first 5 weeks. But on week 6, that's when we'll be having, for week 6, for 4 classes in week 6, that's when we'll be having combined classes in that sense, right? So we'll be having a class on Friday for human rights and business. On Saturday, we'll be having 3 classes. The first on the African Continental Free Trade Area, the second on fundraising and business, and then the third on is a HR course that we have included, which is supposed to give you just the basics about CV writings and then eventually getting jobs, right? So those are the only 4 classes that you'll be having together with other mentees. But for the first 5 weeks, you'll be having classes that are specifically related to your to the course or to the group that you are under. So pay attention to, like I said, pay attention to the schedules that we've posted already. Look at the time frame. You can go to your calendar, and you can always go to your calendar. You can always go to your calendar and mark out your time. For this quarter, we'll be doing well, right, to send calendar invites, reminders, right, as calendar invites ahead of your classes so that you are in the know of your timing, of the time frames for your class. So please pay attention to that. Like I said, if there are any issues or for any reasons you'll be asking from a session, right, reach out to me and let me know what the issue is, and together we can just talk about it and address it. So I think officially, I think it's safe to say that we've come to the end of this onboarding session, right? I trust that you were able to get some form of clarity as to what our program is about, that is coupled with the previous informations that we've put out on your groups, everything that you need to know, right? If you're still in doubt or you are still not clear, please reach out to me. I expect that all groups should have been created, all subgroups, right, for your weekly tasks should have been created by now. I will still be reaching out to all the group leaders to confirm with them. Starting with ADR, your submission date is slated for Monday, right? And then subsequently Tuesday for entertainment, business, and law, Wednesday for the rest, right? So please try and make sure you meet up with your submission dates. Well, I don't want to have to be chasing you people to make submissions, right? So please, as early as you can, when we send in the topic, go straight to work, right? Go straight to work. For this week, you can go around the formalities of trying to get to know each other. That's good and fine, but ensure that you put in the effort to get your tax ready when due, right? I would like to point out before going that, in relating with other mentees and relating with me, right, please try and be as professional as possible, right? In your language, and like I said, we are family, right? As much as we want to build a cordial relationship, right, please try and be professional. Try and be professional in your approach to your co-mentees and to approach towards the admin. I think that's that for that. Thank you for your time. It's been a wonderful 1 hour, 25 minutes, if I'm not mistaken. just running you through our program and just giving you a brief on everything that we do. I hope to see or to get the best out of you, and I'm sure you will get the best out of us. Please do enjoy the rest of your day, and goodbye. Can you all hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. Yes, we can hear you.
All right, so
Yes,
please
goodbye.
goodbye. Yes, you can exit the call now. Thank you very much.
Is there an attendance today?
No, there's no attendance for today. But
All right,
starting from next week, we'll be dropping attendance for classes. Thank you.